Guys, there is nothing that's more difficult, it seems, for 7th graders than adding or subtracting integers. And in this case, we're going to talk about adding integers specifically. And I have tried to rack my brain about the best ways to do this and how to make it relate. But I think the thing that really helped my students this year was just thinking about a train. How does a train get from one place to the other with all of those cars? And they've got hitches. And those hitches in math are kind of like our plus signs. A plus sign doesn't have to be there in order for a number to be positive. It has to be there so that we know to put it together with another number. What we're going to kind of take a look at here is the term train, as I call it. We're going to look at how many terms we have. And then we're going to kind of use term boxes, term cars, and I'm going to show you how to combine terms that are alike. And then finally using number bonds to kind of get our answer to make it hopefully easier for you. But the first thing that I want you to do is figure out how many numbers are we talking about. Not positive, not negative, just numbers. So look at the problem that I have here. I've got 4 numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 4 train cars. And they're just rectangles. And I'm going to understand that those cars, they want to get to the same place, so we have to hitch them up. And that means I'm going to put plus signs in between them. So these are all part of the same train. And then I'm going to look at where are the hitches in my problem that I've been given. Okay, I've been given an expression here, and we want to simplify it. So I'm going to kind of identify those hitches, and I'm going to realize they're not going to be a part of my problem right here. I'm going to look at the numbers for what they are individually. All right. When I go ahead and I look at these numbers individually, I'm going to be able to tell right away whether it's a positive number or a negative number, because a negative number will have a negative sign in front of it. At least for this. When we get into a couple of lessons from now, when we are subtracting negatives or finding the opposite of a negative, it changes just a little bit. But for now, we're okay. So right now, I have a -8. I'll put that into my first term train car, if you will. I have a +6, which is positive because there's no other sign in front of it. I've got a -2, and finally a +1. Numbers that don't have signs in front, they're automatically, the default is that they're positive. The ones we really have to worry about is a number negative or not? That's it. Yes or no? It's binary. So now when we look at this, I say we want to go ahead and combine like terms. Let's put cars together that it doesn't make sense to pull 4 cars together when we're transporting the same cargo. So the first thing that we look at is we've got 2 cars, both that contain negatives. Let's put all of them in one car. I've got 8 negatives in one and 2 in the other. When I put them and condense, I'm going to get a total of 10 negatives. Okay, good. I also have positives, 6 in one of the cars and 1 in the other in the term boxes. And I can consolidate those 2 and have 7 positives now. And finally, when we want to know what is the answer to this, because obviously this isn't trains, I'm just using a way to try to make this a little bit easier for you. But what's going to be the simplified answer to this expression? When we look at these 2 cars, we're down to positives and negatives. If you see my Nick Shaw video, I'll put this in the description. There's a little link right here. If you haven't watched it, watch it. He uses our gaming pawns to cancel out positives and negatives and see what he has left. Here, we've got more negatives than we do positives. And we just have to ask ourselves and count up how many more negatives than positives do we have. If we count from 7 up to 10, we have 3 extra negatives. And that's going to be our answer. Guys, that's easy as it gets. Larger numbers, smaller numbers, it doesn't matter. The only other thing that I would say is to look for is there any numbers that you're given at the beginning that can cancel out right away to form 0? if we were given something instead of this 1, it was a positive 2, we could see that negative 2 and positive 2 could cancel out. Let's say this was positive 2 and give us 0 there to start. That would be the only other piece of advice I would try to give you in order to simplify quicker. I hope this one helped. Keep looking at my videos, keep looking at my tutorials, and keep subscribing.